Private Marcus Cole was not a hero. He was just a soldier, a normal human from a small town on Earth. He liked coffee, old movies, and sleeping late on Sundays. But the Xylos did not know that. They only knew that they had captured a human. And humans were new to the galaxy. Strange, unpredictable, but not dangerous. Not to the Xylos. The Xylos Empire had conquered 100 species. They had the biggest ships, the strongest weapons, and the most powerful tool of all. The scepter. The scepter was a mind-control device. Small, silver, terrible. It could rewrite any brain, erase any memory, plant any command. The Xylos had used it on 100 species. It had never failed. When the Xylos captured Private Marcus Cole, they were not worried. He was just one more mind to break. One more being to add to their collection. Marcus had been caught during a small battle on a distant moon. His unit had been surrounded. He had stayed behind to cover their escape. Now he was alone. In a white room. On an alien ship. With no way out. The room was small. Bright. No windows. No furniture. Just white walls, white floor, white ceiling. Marcus sat on the floor with his back against the wall. His hands were not tied. His legs were not chained. The Xylos did not need ropes. They had the scepter. 2 Xylos scientists entered the room. They were tall and gray. Their faces had no expression. Their eyes were cold. "You are now property of the Xylos Empire," said one. "Resistance is useless. The scepter will make you obey." Marcus looked at them. He did not look scared. He looked bored. "Okay," he said. "Do your thing." The scientists were confused. Most beings begged, cried, screamed. This human just sat there. One scientist held up the scepter. It was a small silver rod with a glowing blue tip. He pressed it against Marcus's forehead. "Prepare to be rewritten," the scientist said. He activated the device. The blue light glowed brighter. A low hum filled the room. The scepter was designed to find the target's mind and reshape it like clay. It had worked on 100 species. It had never failed. The light glowed. The hum grew louder. Marcus sat still. Then the light flickered. The hum stopped. Nothing happened. Marcus opened his eyes. "Is that all you got?" The scientists stared at each other. They had never seen this before. The scepter had never failed. Never. They checked the device. Full power. No damage. No error. They tried again. The blue light glowed. The hum returned. Marcus sat still. Nothing. The lead scientist turned up the power. Then higher. Then maximum. The scepter glowed so bright that the scientists had to look away. The hum was so loud that the walls shook. Marcus did not move. He did not scream. He did not even blink. When the light faded, Marcus was still sitting there. Still calm. Still bored. "That tickled," he said. The scientists stepped back. Their cold faces showed something new. "Fear." "How?" whispered one. "How is this possible?" Marcus stood up. He stretched his arms. He cracked his neck. Then he looked at the scientists with a small smile. "Maybe your machine is broken," he said. "It is not broken," said the lead scientist. "It has worked on 100 species." Marcus shrugged. "Then maybe humans are different." The scientists tried again. And again. And again. Each time, the same result. The scepter glowed. The hum filled the room. Marcus sat still. Nothing happened. After the 10th try, Marcus started humming. Not the hum of the machine. A different hum. A song. An old human song from Earth. The scientists did not recognize it, but they felt something strange. The song was simple. Quiet. But it filled the room in a way the scepter could not. "What are you doing?" asked one scientist. Marcus stopped humming. "Singing," he said. "It helps me relax." "Relax? You are our prisoner. We are trying to control your mind. And you are relaxing." Marcus nodded. "You are trying to control my mind. But you are not succeeding. So why should I be scared?" The scientists had no answer. They left the room. They needed to report to their leaders. Marcus sat back down. He closed his eyes. He started humming again. The song drifted through the white room. Soft. Calm. Human. Outside the room, the Xylos scientists gathered. They ran tests on the scepter. It was working perfectly. Every other species in the galaxy would have fallen. But not the human. "Why?" asked the lead scientist. "Why does it not work on him?" No one had an answer. One young scientist spoke up. Her voice was quiet. "Maybe his mind is too loud." "Too loud?" The scepter works by finding a quiet mind. A mind that can be reshaped. But this human, his mind is not quiet. It is full of noise. Memories. Songs. Feelings. The scepter cannot find a place to grab hold. The lead scientist looked at the white room. Through the small window, he could see Marcus. The human was still humming. Still calm. Still free. Then how do we control him? Asked the lead scientist. The young scientist shook her head. Maybe we cannot. Maybe humans are not built to be controlled. The lead scientist felt a cold feeling in his chest. For the first time in 100 conquests, the Xylos Empire had met a species they could not break. And it scared him. More than anything in the galaxy. Back in the white room, Marcus opened his eyes. He looked at the camera in the corner. He knew they were watching. He smiled. You wanted to control me, he said to the camera. But you forgot something. Humans are not easy to control. We are loud inside. And you cannot silence what you cannot understand. He closed his eyes. He started humming again. The song floated through the white room. A small sound. A human sound. But to the Xylos listening, it was the most terrifying sound in the universe. The Xylos scientists were desperate. They had tried everything. Every frequency. Every setting. Every power level. Nothing worked on the human. The scepter glowed. The hum filled the room. Marcus sat still. Nothing happened. They tried chemicals. They pumped gas into the white room. Gas that could knock out a Krog. Gas that could make a Dragol sleep for days. Marcus coughed once. Then he kept humming. They tried sound. Loud noises. High pitches. Low rumbles. Sounds that could crack stone. Marcus covered his ears for a moment. Then he went back to humming. They tried heat. Cold. Light. Dark. Nothing. The human would not break. The human would not bend. The human would not obey. What do we do? Asked one scientist. His name was Vex. He was young. Scared. He had never seen the scepter fail. The lead scientist, an old Xylos named Tharn, stared at the human through the window. Marcus was sitting on the floor, eyes closed, humming that strange human song. We try again, Tharn said. Maximum power. Everything we have. But sir, Vex said. The scepter was not built for that much power. It could backfire. Tharn turned to look at Vex. His cold eyes were hard. I do not care. Do it. Vex obeyed. He adjusted the controls. He pushed the power to maximum. He pressed the button. The scepter glowed brighter than ever before. The light was so bright that the scientists had to cover their eyes. The hum was so loud that the walls cracked. Inside the room, Marcus opened his eyes. For a moment, something flickered across his face. Surprise? Pain? Then it was gone. The light faded. The hum stopped. The room was quiet. Marcus was still sitting there. Still calm. Still human. But something was different. Something had changed. Not in Marcus. In the Xylos. Vex heard it first. A sound in his head. A sound that did not come from outside. A sound that came from inside. A song. A human song. The same song Marcus had been humming. Vex shook his head. The song stayed. It was soft. Quiet. But it would not leave. Sir, Vex said. I hear something. Tharn looked at him. What do you mean? A song. In my head. The human song. Tharn's cold face showed confusion. That is impossible. The scepter does not work that way. Then Tharn heard it too. A laugh. A human laugh. Loud. Joyful. Strange. It echoed through his mind like a bell. Tharn grabbed his head. Make it stop, he said. Vex tried to turn off the scepter. The button did nothing. The machine was off. But the sounds kept coming. More sounds filled their heads. A scream. A human scream. Not of pain. Of anger. Of defiance. It shook the scientists to their core. Then came the memories. Not their memories. Human memories. Marcus's memories. A woman's face. Kind eyes. Warm smile. Love. A child's laugh. Small hands. Running through green grass. Joy. A war. Explosions. Fear. Loss. Pain. A promise. A hope. A dream. The memories flooded into the Xylos' minds like a river breaking through a dam. They could not stop them. Could not block them. Could not escape. One by one, the scientists fell to their knees. They held their heads. They cried out. The human chaos was too much for their perfect, orderly minds. Tharn fell to the floor. His body shook. His mind was drowning in human noise. Make it stop, he begged. Please, make it stop. In the white room, Marcus stood up. He walked to the door. It opened for him. The locks had failed. The guards were on the floor, holding their heads. Marcus walked into the control room. He looked at the scientists. Vex was crying. Thawne was shaking. The others were curled in balls, whimpering. Marcus sat down in an empty chair. He folded his hands. He looked at Thawne with calm eyes. You wanted to control me, Marcus said. His voice was soft. Not angry. Not proud. Just quiet. Thawne looked up at him. Tears ran down his grey face. What are you? Marcus smiled. I am a human. That is all. But your mind, it is so loud. So chaotic. So much. Marcus nodded. Yes. We are loud inside. We have 1,000 voices in our heads. Memories. Hopes. Fears. Dreams. Loves. Losses. You tried to control me. But you forgot something. What? Thawne whispered. You cannot control what you cannot understand. And you cannot understand us. We are not like your other species. We do not think in straight lines. We do not feel one thing at a time. We are messy. Complicated. Contradictory. Thawne tried to stand. His legs would not work. The scepter worked on 100 species. The scepter worked on quiet minds, Marcus said. Minds that could be reshaped. But humans are not quiet. We have been shouting inside our own heads since the day we were born. Your machine did not control me. It opened a door, and everything inside me came out. He pointed at the scientists on the floor. You are not hurt. Not really. You are just overwhelmed. You have never felt so much at once. Human minds are full of noise, and your quiet minds cannot handle it. Thawne looked at his hands. They were shaking. What do we do now? Marcus stood up. You let me go. You stop trying to control humans. And you forget you ever met me. And if we do not? Marcus shrugged. Then the noise stays. In your heads. Forever. A human song. A human laugh. A human scream. Playing over and over until you go mad. Thawne felt cold. He knew Marcus was telling the truth. He could still hear the song. Still feel the laugh. Still see the memories. Let him go, Thawne said to no one. Open the doors. Let him leave. The guards on the floor did not move. They were too busy holding their heads. Marcus walked to the door. He looked back at Thawne one last time. You wanted to control me, he said. But you forgot. Humans are not easy to control. We are loud inside. And you cannot silence what you cannot understand. He walked out. The doors closed behind him. The noise in the Xylos' heads began to fade. Slowly. Slowly. But it never fully went away. Even years later, Thawne would sometimes hear a human song. A human laugh. A human scream. A reminder of the day they tried to control a human. And failed. The Xylos leaders were angry. The human had walked out of their facility. He had not escaped. He had walked. And no one had stopped him. But they caught him again. A patrol found Marcus 3 days later, walking through a field, looking at the stars. He did not run. He did not fight. He just smiled and let them take him. This time, the leaders wanted something different. No more scepter. No more scientists. Just isolation. Put him in the DAC, ordered Commander Vex. No light. No sound. No contact. Humans are social creatures. They need others. Isolation will break him. They built a special cell. No windows. No lights. No vents. The walls were thick. The door was heavy. When it closed, there was nothing. Just darkness. Just silence. Marcus was put inside. The door closed with a loud boom. Then nothing. The Xylos watched through hidden cameras. Special cameras that could see in the dark. They saw Marcus sit down on the floor. He looked around. He touched the walls. Then he sat still. The first day passed. Marcus sat in the dark. He did not move much. He did not speak. He just sat a day. He is already breaking, said one leader. Look at him. He has given up. But Commander Vex was not sure. He watched Marcus's face. It was calm. Not broken. Calm. The second day passed. Marcus started moving. He walked in circles. He stretched his arms. He did push-ups. He sat again. The third day. Marcus started talking. Not to anyone. To himself. He told stories. Old stories from Earth. About his mother. About his father. About a dog he had as a child. The Xylos listened through hidden microphones. They did not understand the words. But they understood the feeling. The human was not breaking. He was remembering. The fourth day. Marcus started singing. The same song from before. That strange human song. His voice was soft. Quiet. But it filled the dark cell like a light. He should be screaming by now, said one scientist. No being can last this long in isolation. But Marcus was not screaming. He was singing. The fifth day. The sixth day. The seventh day. Marcus kept going. He talked. He sang. He exercised. He slept. He woke. He lived. The Xylos watched in disbelief. They had used isolation on 100 species. The strongest warriors had broken after 3 days. The smartest minds had shattered after 5. But this human, this normal, average human, he was fine. On the 8th day, a young scientist named Lynn spoke up. She had been watching Marcus closely, studying his face, his eyes, his voice. "Commander," she said, "I understand now." Commander Vex turned to her. "Understand what?" "Why he is not breaking. This human is not afraid of being alone. He is used to it." Vex frowned. "Used to it? No one is used to isolation." Lynn shook her head. "Humans are. They carry their world inside their heads. He is not alone in that cell. He has his memories, his family, his friends, his home. He carries all of them with him. Everywhere he goes." She pointed at the screen. Marcus was smiling. He was telling a story about a fishing trip with his father. His face was warm. Happy. At peace. "You see," Lynn said. "He is not in a dark cell. He is on a boat. With his father. In the sun. We cannot take that from him. Because it is not in the room. It is in his head." Commander Vex felt a cold hand grab his heart. He had thought isolation would break the human. He had thought loneliness would be his enemy. But he was wrong. Humans were not afraid of loneliness. They had been practicing for it their whole lives. In traffic. In crowds. In quiet rooms. They had learned to be alone without being lonely. "This is impossible," Vex whispered. Lynn looked at the screen. Marcus had stopped talking. He was sitting still. Eyes closed. A small smile on his face. "No," Lynn said. "It is not impossible. It is human." The leaders gathered in the viewing room. They watched Marcus on the screen. 10 days had passed. 20. 30. The human was still there. Still calm. Still whole. He had lost weight. His beard had grown long. His clothes were dirty. But his eyes were clear. His voice was strong. His mind was sharp. "He is not breaking," said one leader. "He is not even bending." Commander Vex stared at the screen. He saw Marcus open his eyes. The human looked directly at the camera. Directly at Vex. And smiled. "I know you are watching," Marcus said. "I have been waiting for you to figure it out." Vex leaned closer. "Figure what out?" Marcus could not hear him. But he kept talking. "You thought isolation would break me. But I have been alone before. I have been sad before. I have been scared before. And I am still here. You cannot take anything from me that I have not already given away." He stood up. He walked to the door. He knocked 3 times. "So what now?" Marcus asked. "Are you going to keep me in here forever? Because I have a lot of stories. And a lot of songs. And I do not get tired of either." The leaders looked at each other. They had no answer. Commander Vex turned to Lynn. "What do we do with him?" Lynn shook her head. "I do not know. We cannot break him. We cannot control him. We cannot even scare him. He is not afraid of us. He is not afraid of the dark. He is not afraid of being alone." Vex felt something he had never felt before. Not fear. Not anger. Something worse. Respect. He respected the human. The small, soft, fragile creature in the dark cell, who had nothing but memories and songs. And who was winning. "We made a terrible mistake," Vex said quietly. "We captured a human. But we did not capture his mind. And his mind is the only thing that matters." Lynn looked at the screen. Marcus was humming again. "That song. That human song." "Yes," she said. "We made a terrible mistake. And now we have to live with it." Outside the cell, the guards heard the humming. It leaked through the thick walls. Through the heavy door. Through the silence. A human song. In a dark cell. On an alien ship. 1,000 light years from Earth. And it sounded like victory. 3 weeks. 21 days. Marcus had been in the dark cell for 3 weeks. No light. No sound. No company. Just himself and his memories. The Xylos watched him every day, waiting for him to break. He never did. On the 22nd day, Marcus stood up. His body was weak. His beard was long. His clothes were torn. But his eyes were clear. His voice was steady. He walked to the cell door. It was locked. Heavy metal. No handle on the inside. No way to open it from where he stood. Marcus looked up at the camera in the corner. He knew they were watching. "Open the door," he said. The Xylos in the control room heard him. They did not move. They did not open the door. Marcus waited. Nothing happened. He smiled. Then he started talking. Not shouting. Not begging. Just talking. His voice was soft. Calm. Warm. It filled the small cell like sunlight. "I am going to tell you a story," Marcus said. "About a place called Earth. Have you heard of it? Probably not. It is a small planet. Blue and green. Very beautiful." The Xylos listened. They could not help it. His voice was strange. Different from any voice they had heard. It made them feel something. Something they could not name. "Earth is not perfect," Marcus continued. "We have wars. We have pain. We have loss. But we also have love. And hope. And dreams. We have music and art and food and laughter. We have sunrises and sunsets and stars that look close enough to touch." He talked for an hour. Then 2 hours. Then 3. He told them about his mother. How she used to sing him to sleep. How she worked 3 jobs to feed him. How she smiled even when she was tired. He told them about his father. How he taught Marcus to fish. How he cried at Marcus's graduation. How he held Marcus's hand on his deathbed. He told them about his friends. About the wars he had fought. About the people he had saved. About the people he had lost. The Xylos listened. They forgot to eat. Forgot to sleep. Forgot to do their jobs. They just sat and listened to the human's voice. On the 2nd day, Marcus was still talking. His voice was weaker now. His throat was dry. But he did not stop. He told them about human history. About the dark times and the bright times. About the mistakes and the triumphs. About the times humans almost destroyed themselves and the times they saved each other. He told them about love. Real love. The kind that makes you do stupid things. The kind that makes you brave. The kind that makes you human. He told them about loss. The emptiness when someone you love is gone. The pain that never fully heals. The way you learn to carry it. The Xylos in the control room were crying. They did not know they could cry. They had never felt anything like this. The human's words were opening something inside them. Something they had kept closed for their whole lives. Commander Vex watched the screen. His face was wet. He did not understand why. "Turn it off," he said. "Make him stop." No one moved. No one could. His voice was too powerful. "Please," Vex whispered. "I cannot take any more." But Marcus kept talking. His voice was soft. Gentle. Like a parent reading a bedtime story. "You wanted to break me," Marcus said. "But you cannot break what is already broken. Humans are broken. All of us. We have scars. We have wounds. We have pain. But we keep going. That is what we do. We keep going." He paused. He looked at the camera. His eyes were kind. "You are not broken," he said. "You have never been broken. You have never felt real pain. Real loss. Real love. That is why you cannot understand me. That is why you cannot control me. I have been through things you cannot imagine. And I am still here." The Xylos guards outside the cell heard his voice through the walls. They put down their weapons. They walked to the door. They stood there, listening. By the end of the 2nd day, something strange happened. The guards opened the door. Not because Marcus forced them. Not because they were ordered to. Because they wanted to. Because his voice had changed something inside them. Because they could not keep him locked up any longer. The heavy door swung open. Light flooded the cell. Marcus squinted. He had not seen light in 3 weeks. He walked to the door. The guards stepped aside. They did not raise their weapons. They did not try to stop him. Marcus walked out of the cell. He walked down the hallway. Past the control room. Past Commander Vex. Past the scientists. No one stopped him. No one shot him. No one even spoke. They just watched him leave. Their faces were wet. Their eyes were confused. Their hearts were full of something they did not understand. Marcus walked to the main exit. The doors opened for him. He stepped outside. The sun was setting. The sky was orange and red. Beautiful. He took a deep breath. The air was sweet. Clean. Free. Behind him, a young Xylos officer watched from the doorway. She whispered to herself. He did not escape. We let him go. And I do not know why. But she did know why. Deep down, she knew. The human had not fought. He had not threatened. He had not begged. He had simply talked. And his words had unlocked something inside her. Something that had been sleeping for a long time. She touched her face. It was wet. Tears. She was crying. She had never cried before. And she understood. The human had not escaped. He had set them free. Marcus walked down the hill. He did not look back. He did not need to. He had done what he came to do. He had shown them what it meant to be human. Not strong. Not powerful. Just real. And that was enough. Marcus returned to Earth on a quiet Tuesday. No bands played. No crowds cheered. No generals gave speeches. He simply walked off the ship and onto the soil of his home world. He knelt down and touched the grass. It was green. Soft. Real. He closed his eyes and breathed. The news spread slowly. A human had been captured by the Xylos. A human had been subjected to the scepter. A human had walked out of a maximum security facility. A human had not broken. The other species of the galaxy heard the story. They listened with wide eyes and open mouths. The Xylos Empire had conquered 100 species. Their mind control device had never failed. Until now. Until a single human. The Xylos Empire did not fall because of a war. No ships were fired. No battles were fought. The empire fell because of a story. A story about a man named Marcus Cole. The other species stopped being afraid. They learned that the Xylos could not control a single human. And if they could not control one, they could not control anyone. The fear that had held the galaxy together for centuries simply evaporated. Species that had been slaves for generations rose up. Not with weapons. With courage. They said, if a human can resist, so can we. And they did. One by one, the Xylos lost their grip on the galaxy. The scepter was destroyed. Not by humans. By the Xylos themselves. They were too afraid of what might leak back into their own minds. They had heard the stories. The human song. The human laugh. The human scream. They did not want those sounds in their heads. So they burned the machines. They deleted the research. They tried to forget. But they could not forget. The story of Marcus Cole was everywhere. Told and retold. Passed from species to species. A legend. A warning. A hope. Years later, Marcus lived on a small beach on Earth. He was old now. His hair was gray. His face was wrinkled. His body was tired. But his eyes were still clear. His voice was still steady. He spent his days walking on the sand. Watching the waves. Listening to the wind. He did not think about the past. He did not worry about the future. He just lived. One day, a young alien came to see him. She was from a species called the Nuru. Small. Blue. Big eyes. She had traveled across the galaxy to meet the human who had broken the scepter. She found Marcus sitting on a log, looking at the ocean. The sun was setting. The sky was orange and pink. Are you Marcus Cole? She asked. Marcus turned. He smiled. I used to be. Now I am just an old man who likes the beach. The young alien sat next to him. I came to ask you a question. Everyone wants to know. How did you resist? How did you stay yourself when the scepter tried to change you? Marcus was quiet for a long time. He looked at the waves. He listened to the wind. I did not resist, he said finally. The young alien was confused. But you did not break. You did not obey. How is that not resistance? Marcus shook his head. Resistance means fighting back. It means pushing against something. I did not push. I just stayed. Stayed. I refused to be anyone but myself. That is all. The scepter tried to rewrite my mind. But my mind was already written. By my mother. By my father. By my friends. By my enemies. By every joy and every sorrow I had ever known. He picked up a handful of sand. Let it fall through his fingers. You cannot rewrite a book that is already full, he said. There is no empty space. Every page is covered. Every corner is filled. The scepter had nowhere to write. The young alien thought about this. So you are not special. Marcus laughed. It was a soft laugh. Kind. No. I am not special. That is the human secret. We are not stronger than other species. Not smarter. Not faster. We are just too stubborn to change. We have been knocked down 1,000,000 times. And every time, we get back up. Not because we are brave. Because we do not know how to stay down. The young alien wrote this in her notebook. She did not fully understand. But she felt something. A warmth. A hope. So if someone tries to control me, she said, I should just be myself. Marcus nodded. Be yourself. So fully. So completely. That there is no room for anything else. That is the only defense you need. The young alien stood up. She looked at the ocean. The sun had set. The stars were coming out. Thank you, Marcus Cole, she said. I will never forget this. Marcus smiled. You do not need to thank me. Just promise me one thing. What? Never try to control a human. We are not worth the trouble. The young alien laughed. I promise. I will never try to control a human. Or anyone else. She walked away. Marcus watched her go. Then he turned back to the ocean. The waves crashed. The wind blew. The stars shone. Marcus closed his eyes. He thought about his mother, his father, his friends, his enemies, his joys, his sorrows. His mind was his own. It always had been. It always would be. No machine. No alien. No empire could take that from him. Because he was not special. He was just a human. And humans do not break. They bend. They crack. They scar. But they do not break. Marcus opened his eyes. The stars were beautiful. The waves were loud. The wind was cold. He smiled. He was old. He was tired. He was alone. But he was free. And that was enough. More than enough. It was everything.